the lines, and just to give you what the number looks like, we say 0880514 That's the number to call. But we inform you when we're going to open the lines so that you can make your contribution in terms of what are your concerns are, what are they, and we're going to listen and we're going to answer them. So before we go to our studio guests, I will just give you a little bit of information on where we have our civil service offices, because it is the dream of the Director General Honorable James A. Thompson to spread the offices, the activities of civil service into all of the 15 counties. Mind you, we have civil servants across the length and breadth of the nation into all of the 15 counties. So we want to say there's a need to spread civil service offices there. But for now, we have regional clusters. So we're just going to read out and go strictly to our talking point today. So we say for those in Grand Kitman County, Bapolu County, and Bomi County, our civil service office is right in Tottenberg. You right there, our man Francis Woluba and his team, they are doing a lot there. So you can just go there instead of coming all the way here. For those in Grand Crew County, Maryland County, River G County, and Grand Jita County, we say go in Zweju right there. Our man Fred Wall, he's there with his team. They're doing a good job there. You can get all of those around there. For those in Lofa County, Nima County, and Bon County, right in in Banga City, our man Stephen Couture is there right in Banga City. We have a civil service office there. For those in Sino County, okay, that is Riverside County, Grand Bassa County, and McGibbon County. Our man Jonathan Reeves is right in Buchanan. We have our civil service office there. I'm being told that Sino County is an owner of Fred Guard. So for those looking at the proximity, if you are in Monserrato County, just come straightly to our office, the national office within the Ellen Johnson Surly Ministerial Complex. There where we have our office, and you just ask for whatever division you want to go to. Where, in fact, we have our front desk executives are there. Once you give your concerns, they're going to tell you exactly. If you don't know where you want to go now, they're just going to lead you strictly to that division where you can have your concerns redressed. So we want to say welcome to the Civil Service Hour here on ELBC. As we always do, we bring in a division to come and speak, to lead the conversation. Today, we are so privileged to have with us the Legal Affairs section of the Civil Service agency, and that the director for the Legal Affairs, we have Anthony Dennis Jalasua. Anthony Jenny Jalasua is being accompanied by the Assistant Director James Blama. James Blama is for the grievance, and he works strictly from the Deputy Director General's for HRM office, and he's very experienced civil servants who are going to lead the conversation. So we want to say welcome to the Civil Service Hour, Anthony Sua and Assistant Director James Blama.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Swain.
Yeah, you always been here giving information, especially when it comes to the standing orders. Today we're going to talk on disciplinary procedures, right? Because some people, it's important that we talk about discipline, because sometimes we are carried away to say, hey, this is government job, nobody can discipline me. Meanwhile, we have a lot there that can tie you to it. So we want to discuss discipline. So, but before then, you want to just introduce yourself in there, especially the legal department, and just tell what do you do there before we delve into our general topic.
Good afternoon to our listening public. I'm Anthony Dennis K. Jalasua. I serve as head of the legal section at the Civil Service Agency. So Legal Affairs is responsible to advise the agency when it comes to activities that relates to the civil service of Liberia, especially the agency. So we have a lot of things to do. We prepare contracts, we review MOUs to ensure that the agency is in conformity with laws and our policies. We advise the agency when there is matter coming from other institutions that relate to employees. So we serve as advisors to the agency.
Okay, that's good. Everything the legal people you can do it because you have to work within the confines of the laws. So it's obvious that is important. Mr. Blabber, you want to just introduce yourself and just say one or two before we begin the main discussion.
Yeah. Good afternoon. My name is James Blaman, Assistant Director for Complaints and Grievance. Uh, we handled the grievance issue of civil servants. When a complaint is filed to the Director General of the Civil Service Agency, it's passed over to the Deputy's Office, Deputy for Human Resource Management and Policies Office. And we pick up from that. The examining committee of the Board of Appeal is headed by the Deputy for Human Resource and Management Policy. And we proceed with grievance handling as we are assisted by a legal affairs, the hearing officers, and the team.
Okay, Mr. Blattman, so we'll get to that. We kind of think one of the core functions is the how they call these examining committee functions, right? Where you go through. But today, Anthony Sua, when we contacted you, you say let's talk about discipline. Why do we have to go? And it is in chapter 4 of the standing orders for civil service. So why are we going to talking? Why should we talk about discipline?
Well, we suggested that we discuss discipline today because we have been discussing grievance before.
Okay.
It is important for us to have our employees and our employers know that before disciplining an employee, there are procedures.
Okay.
So once the employers and employees understand, then we try to eliminate confusion in the workplace.
Substance. So yeah, so obviously it is good. So this topic it is going to affect every one of us. That is whether you are the head of the institution, whether you are the civil servant, wherever position you are or you have. I mean, you have to take it so seriously. So like we're talking, we say it's in discipline, right? What are those in discipline that we want to look at specifically?
Well, we have acts that are committed
Sure.
by employees. So we have like sometimes some employees don't come to work,
Okay.
and that is against the civil service. So we say equal work for equal pay.
Yeah.
An employee cannot stay home and come at the end of the month to go to the bank to receive salary. So obviously, the agency will not agree with that, even the government as a whole. So we also have where they have employees who are responsible for employment. So you have the HR office. Like in our own case, we have the analyst. So in employing other people, if there is fraud, it also warrants punishment.
Okay.
If an employee is discourteous to the public, because we know in the workplace we come from homes,
Yeah.
come from different areas, but the way we behave at home, it is different. It should be different from what we do at the office. So if somebody is there and will not accept customer service, there is also punishment for that.
Okay, Mr. Blabber, you want to throw a little light on it, then we go to the next point we want to discuss. Do stay within the same discipline. Why you think it is important that civil servants or head of institutions are so abreast with the art of this discipline? I mean, the chapter on discipline that they should read that and understand it through from the standing orders. Why you think that is so important?
Yeah, it, Anthony Suave have said almost all, but just to add one or two,
Go ahead, Chief.
in the public service or the civil service, handling civil service is a little bit difficult in a sense that the law governing civil servant, it is there actually to follow a procedure. Sometimes people are not well with the civil service standing order. It's good to really review it and implement it to the latter to avoid being, I don't know, taking decision that is not in line with the civil service standing order. Just
Yeah,
one.
so before onto this why any of you before we come to we delve into the various kinds of disciplinary act or procedures, right? Which we're going to come up in a very in a jiffy. Why is it so important? How does indiscipline affect the progress or the performance of civil servants?
Well, we all know that even at home, if a child is not disciplined,
Okay.
we know the embarrassment it causes the family.
Definitely.
So if we have employees who are not disciplined, there are a lot of problems, even with our customers, with officials, with their co-workers, and we want an atmosphere where everyone will be able to work together to produce whatever the agency or the institution was acted to do.
Let me just read out something here so that from there we have chapter. If you have your standing orders with you, your standing orders of the civil service, yeah, you can go along with us as we go through this program. Maybe you can make some points or some interjections there. If you're an HRO, especially we expect HROs to have this as a Bible because HROs, head of institutions or agencies, as well as civil servants, you need to have the standing orders. We've always laid emphasis on the importance, the how pivotal having the standing order. We need to. We have some. They say chapter 4.1.2, it shall be the duty of every superior officer as soon as he observe any fault or shortcoming in an officer or employee subordinate to him to bring it to the officer or employee's notice and to record that it has been done with a view to improving the officer or employee's usefulness in the service. What do we make of that?
Yeah, it's important. So the last part of the paragraph there,
Yeah.
to improve the employees' usefulness in the service.
Okay.
So if the person commits an act
Sure.
and the supervisor is aware, so the policy is saying inform the employee. So that information is being provided to enable the person to improve
Okay.
so that the act committed will no longer be committed. And that will create a peaceful atmosphere in the work environment.
So in essence, it is not for you to to wish on like somebody will claim, but to bring the person to book. So
Yes.
the focus is that the person should improve.
So that eastern part is that you are serving as a father or mother to the employee.
But they
So
say
you
you should
try to
record
guide
it. They
them.
say you should record it.
Yes, you are recording it, but then you will let them know, and you are recording it just for another occurrence. So if you go further down, it will let you know that if there is a reason
Okay.
to report the person, then you should inform the head of institution or the director general of the civil service agency.
Wow. So it
Yeah.
means, but sometimes people say you get the person recording people, you get the person on record. I mean,
So that's why nobody wants to be blamed in Liberia. So if I put this fellow on record, you hold it against me. But that shouldn't be the point. We want a safe work environment. Why if somebody is there insulting people all over the place, the person is arrogant, the person is so aggressive. You got to do something to minimize, to in fact to allow them to stop what they are doing.
okay.
So any good employee, once the person's subordinate or supervisor says this is wrong, it's being recorded, but then it will not be reported. But if the act continues, then it gives the supervisor the right to file a complaint against the person.
Okay, and that leads to section 2.4.2.1 when they say when a case of misconduct or general inefficiency is brought to the attention of an agency head of the Director General, disciplinary procedures shall be initiated only after the employee or officer concerned has been given adequate opportunity to exculpate himself.
So that's also, it's like there's an allegation.
Okay.
So the person should be called in, let them explain. The person accusing should also be able to face that person. Let that investigation goes on. After the investigation, then the discipline can take place.
Okay, so it simply means it's a Blama, you want to chip into it, right?
Yeah. The grievance procedure starts with the institution.
Okay.
So the supervisors have the right to talk to civil servants whenever things go wrong. So you initiate the process, talk to the person. Sometimes it's good to do verbal in warning. Talk to the person, maybe he or she did something that they are innocent of, probably they saw somebody doing it and they themselves decided to follow same. So you as a supervisor, since you want efficiency, you need to talk to your staff about it, their weakness, and what will strengthen the department. So the grievance procedure, that's why standing orders is asking that it begins with the supervisor or the institution in which he or she works before coming to civil service agency.
So great. So, folks, if you just joining us, this is the Civil Service Hour, your ELBC. It is a program that brings you up to speed on matters relative to the well-being and welfare of civil servants across the length and breadth of this nation, called Liberia. We want to say it comes out every Monday. Today, we are privileged to have in our midst the legal team that is those from the legal affairs section of the Civil Service Agency. It is headed by Attorney Dennis Jalasua. She's here, being accompanied by the Assistant Director, James Blama. Today we're discussing Chapter 4 of the Standing Orders. The Standing Orders is that regulatory book or document that guides all civil servants or public servants, to what to do. That is your do's and your don'ts. It's good to read it. We've always encouraged head of institutions. We've always encouraged HRS, even including civil servants, to read, to be the breast of it. Just as every citizen, you are asked to read the Constitution, the organic law of the state. It's the same way with civil servants. We want to say keep reading, because as head of institution, whatever decisions you make got to be guided by these standing orders, and HRS as well. They are going to advise the head of institutions to make those very sound and guided decisions. So today we're discussing discipline. So when it comes to discipline, right, I agree that this refers to the subordinates or the staff and other things, but can the staff by themselves, put their bosses on record for any act of discipline with respect to this?
Well, we say yes, because no one is above the law.
Sure.
So if a supervisor carry out an illegal act,
Okay.
the employee has the right to file a complaint.
You say illegal act. Well, you want to bring that to our attention.
So we have like sexual harassment, let's say that.
Yeah,
But that is not
we
off.
may always start with sexual harassment. But just by the way, anyway.
It's obvious. It's always happening, but people don't complain.
Okay.
So the person has the right to report to that supervisor.
Okay.
There's a clear line of procedure
Okay.
in reporting. So
So,
employees have right to file complaints against their supervisors.
so besides
if they go
besides sexual
wrong.
harassment, what other thing that, because like first thing you call now sexual, that's you add other issue there that they could also report.
Oh, okay. So you have like taking away a property of the government.
Okay.
So the institution if an employee is aware that his or her supervisor took like a computer away, so he or she has the right to file a complaint.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. Mr. Blabber,
Okay. So there
you
is,
you you been in. I mean, you a veteran when it comes to the civil service. So sometimes I mean, you will bring your thoughts in, man, to give us some general thoughts on that. How does it work? Has it happened before in your time that an employee, reported his boss for something that is as legal, borrowing her word, illegal? I'm not
yeah.
saying going to call anybody name.
No,
I mean,
we
just
are not going to call names, but we got a lot. But I will just bring I'll bring one fault, a simple one that have occurred, and we presided on that.
okay.
So this supervisor has one, let's say, good office attendant or office or messenger, whatever name they give it in the office. Oh, several warning letters, in fact, suspension and things. And one of these is the supervisor, I don't know, he forgot, he, the office boy was in possession of the key. They assigned computer
Yeah.
in the office. He had a man taking the computer into a car, a signed car, and he carried home. And the office attendant took note of that, recorded the date and time that the supervisors carried the computer. So when the auditor came to check, they could not find the computer. And they charged him over what happened, the supervisor with the computer, and he couldn't give account of it. And the office attendant took the report and he forwarded it to the minister. And the minister said, wow. And the minister invited him. And when they interrogated the case, he was found guilty. He was, in fact, dismissed for that.
Okay.
Yeah. So the
That
honorable can do it,
that's a
and the
class. That's a
supervisor also
classical
can do
case,
it.
right? That's a
Yeah.
classical case. Good. So we are getting there. Oh, this is the civil service hour here on ELBC. We have with us Attorney Denise Jala Sua. She's the director for legal affairs at the Civil Service Agency. She's been accompanied by the assistant director, James Blaman. He works directly in the office of he's a legal man in the office of the Deputy Director General for Human Resource Management and Policy within the Civil Service Hour. Oh, this is it. So we will open the lounge very shortly, but we still delving into it. So there are, as we go along, I see some points to say add committed penalties. Each of the citizens incompetency and inefficiency, 2 letters of warning followed by withholding or deferment of increment or dismissal. We want to talk on that, please.
Yeah, so if an employee is incompetent or inefficient,
Yeah.
the policy is saying the institution should serve the person 2 warning letters.
Okay.
If there is no improvement, then the person's increment should be withheld
Okay.
or the person should be dismissed. So you see the options there.
Wow, you say incompetency, that is the 2 warning letters. I
Yeah.
mean, what's the time frame for you to serve the next one? That is, you serve the first one, then the first one and the next one follows. What's the time frame between the first and second?
So like we could equivalent to equivalent to
Yeah.
performance management.
Okay.
So at the end of every year, we do performance management.
Yeah.
So if the person was appraised this year
Okay.
and the person fell short, so advance. The following year, they can warn the person. Another year, warn the person.
So
The
legal,
third year,
legal. Let
you
me
just
come to the.
dismiss.
I agree. We
Or
come to the dismissal
if-
thing because so in between there, what happens there? Is there any room for
There's
the
room for
agency to give afford the opportunity to this person
improvement.
to improve?
Yes. Even the agency has the right or the obligation to conduct training.
Okay.
Either in service training, if there's opportunity, you can send a person out to LIPA or send a person out of the country for training. But the person must be willing to be trained.
Wow. Okay. Mr. Blama, we will come to you. You the dictionary, like encyclopedia when it comes to that. Has there been any situation? Have you any thought on that?
Yeah, as a
Because
secretary,
somebody will say, I've been civil servant for 30 years, I've been civil servant for 25 years, and they stay to the same. And, they say,
yeah, in the civil service, before you are employed in the civil service, for example, to be an analyst, you should be a college graduate.
sure.
That requirement is set. But again, somebody will take up the job, and they would not have that advanced training in an area and will not be willing to learn. So in that, if you get on the job, we expect you to get the basic knowledge and improve. If you have to be willing, if you are not willing, then the supervisors can talk to you to put you to know the importance of the job that you are doing. Need to appraise you after every
Appraiser.
appraising or civil servant. You learn from there. Your weakness and your strength will be identified, and the supervisors need to prop you up and talk to you about it, what you need to do to improve in
Okay.
that area. Because the opportunity is there for you to receive an increment, or sometimes uh, give you an honorarium if you perform well.
Okay. That's good.
Yes, to motivate you.
So you see, sometimes when you are in a position and you can have increment, these are some of the things you got to consider. Whether you're doing well on your job, your proficiency level, how far it's gone. Well, so sometimes you don't just believe, say, oh, I've been here for 10 years and they can't even increase my salary, but then somebody has just come, spent 5 years and they increase it. Sometimes these are basic things. So it's good that you follow the show and you read out the standing orders so you understand exactly what it is. Nobody's favoring anybody. So we come to Clause B. They say unauthorized absences, payroll deduction for each day absent, but absence for 14 consecutive days, automatic dismissal.
So if an employee stays away for time without excuse,
Sure.
the policy says the institution should deduct the person pay for each day. But if the person stays away for 14 days without excuse, it is starting month
In a month now.
in a
That-
month, yeah, in a
month,
particular
in a
month.
particular
It's not
month,
that
yeah.
you stay away 5 months,
Yeah,
5 days
days,
in 1 month,
yeah.
6 days in another month. No, in 1 month.
Okay.
After 14 days without any excuse, the person should be dismissed. It is interpreted as the person has resigned.
Okay. Okay. So that one is just by law.
By law,
Obviously,
yes.
no further
And,
explanation.
and
Yeah,
to
go
go
ahead.
further,
Go ahead.
the institution does not have the right to find them. You have to
Okay.
seek as to where the person is. The person has the responsibility to inform his or her supervisor or the institution that maybe I'm ill, or please grant me excuse for this.
Anthony,
But to
Anthony,
just stay away.
this is important, and I want you to re-echo this or lay emphasis on it. What is it? The person? It is the right of the individual to inform them, not the asking. I just want you to say that.
To inform the institution that
Is
he or
that
she is
information
not
should
well.
not ask go to say, well, where is Robert? Is that an institution duty to do that?
No, it's not binding on the institution
Okay,
to do.
okay. I just want you to make that
Yes,
clear.
if the institution is willing, they can do it,
Okay.
but it's not binding.
So nobody come and say, oh, well, you knew I was not well. Nobody
Yes.
call me.
So
got
I
it.
Denise know that I'm sick
Yeah.
and I'm home. Why can't I call my supervisor or send a communication? We have different means of communication. You have WhatsApp, you have Messenger, you have message. I mean, there are a lot of ways of communication. So just send.
Somebody may
Other
be
than
able
that,
to
it
see-
means that I can stay away and nothing will happen. So
Okay.
to serve as deterrent for others, the policy must be implemented.
Mr. Blabber.
Yeah, this is one of the difficult things.
How
making
difficult it
decisions.
is. I mean, you
Yes.
just tell us.
Because the evidence is you that being away is binding on you to produce the evidence. For example, if you are ill, okay, you went to hospital, you have to bring a hospital slip or report saying that, oh yes, you are in hospital. Even if you went in, good people say to seek country medicine or
The
whatever
sick bush.
sick bush
Yeah.
that you go into, you have to bring somebody from there. Yeah, you have to bring some from the report from there to prove that indeed you are in sick bush, to convince people that indeed you suffer from illness and you went in the interior to seek some medical assistance. See,
That issue
because
of the
others,
sick bush thing, I mean, obviously you wouldn't have receipt, you wouldn't have documentation from the herbalist. How do you reconcile with that?
it is because the traditional people, like for example, internal affairs, give certificate to people to perform certain tasks. For
Okay.
example, if you have what people call Goa, right? It's something that is visible. You can take a photo of your legs or any part of your body that is being affected. You take a photo and people can try. Nowadays days people have smartphone everywhere and things. You can bring it over to your HR or the head of institution. I don't think they will deny you of the opportunity, but you need to bring a proof. I
Okay,
get it.
that is clear. So, civil servants, you listening to all of these tidbits, they're going to help you to go through your your services well, so that you don't find yourself wanting. So come, they say conviction of felony. I mean, a big legal term. They say dismissal. The penalty is dismissal.
Oh yes.
So
So they are not saying if an employee is accused.
okay,
So once the
okay,
person is convicted, meaning the person has gone through the legal proceeding. So the person's guilt is only determined by the court. So when a person is forwarded to court, maybe on allegation of stealing, of rape, and the person is found guilty and convicted, meaning that the person is going to jail,
Mhm.
that gives the institution the right to dismiss. So you, for instance, someone is going to jail for 5 years.
Okay.
Are you going to leave that position vacant? So the framers of the policy look at it to be no, they can fill the position.
Yeah, but let's say we talk about that is the person is being convicted now, right?
Yes.
But in between there, the person has to go to court. They have to so now 3 times a day, and all of those things. Sometimes, what happens? Is there anything the agency going to do to say, "Hey, my man, since you're going through a court proceeding, we suspend"? Is there anything or whatever it is, right?
With that, once the person is accused, the policy is silent on that.
Okay.
But the institution should be able to put hold on the salary. If the person is not guilty, you can let the salary be released. But if the person is guilty, then they have to go.
Or it means that when the person is going through that process,
Yeah, that process. The
yeah,
person is not guilty yet.
No.
The person is just accused.
yeah,
So you can't dismiss them.
okay. But then, why would you want to hold your salary, though?
Because the person is going through procedure.
Yeah.
The person has been accused. The person will not be away from work. Once somebody is accused, especially there are crimes that are not bailable.
That's right.
So that person will be away already in jail.
Mhm.
That person can be in jail and be receiving salary. So the best thing to do is withhold the salary until the case can be concluded.
Why, if that person is still having the freedom to be going to court, that is, they're not being incarcerated in terms of but they just go to court, and then that legal
Yeah,
yeah,
so with
process
that
is
now,
done.
that is between the institution's head
Okay,
and the director general.
okay, okay. That's good. So we
So
another
they
one.
can make that decision as to what to do because the policy is silent.
Okay. So I would do. We got a lot of them here, So I would just be taking skipping. So intoxication while on duty. This is interesting. Intoxication. I mean, we're talking about somebody
Yeah, so
drinking.
somebody will not come to work and be drunk, or come to work, lunch hour, leave the workplace, go and get drunk and come back to work. We have a case where this employee was drunk and the HR went to say, "Oh, my man, this environment is not conducive. So please try to leave." By the time he said nobody can do anything to me, the deputy appeared. And how he was dismissed.
Wow. It talks about
Yeah.
this bit also, but yeah, but why?
That's
But
it.
council they say
Yeah, but
2
no,
warning letters
yeah.
followed by the bit.
So there were a lot of warning letters,
Okay.
a lot. It was not only that incident.
Okay.
There were a
So
lot of
you
letters.
a lot of them. Okay.
Yes.
So folks, this is the civil service hour. We're going to open the line. So if you have any concerns, you've listened to our legal team here, Anthony Janice Jalasua. She's the director for legal affairs at the Civil Service Agency. And we have Assistant Director James Blama. They are all our legal people there and they're very experienced civil servants. Today we're talking about discipline. If you have the standing orders of the civil service with you, we are talking discipline in chapter 4 of the standing order. So you just listen to some of the, if you just join us, we said this is the number to call 080-514-096, to contribute to the discussion. I mean, you can call us now. Let's open the line. So let's continue while we expect calls to come or concerns rates. So we talk about intoxication, right? But it's a
Yes.
addiction to use of narcotic or habit forming drugs. Well.
Yeah. So narcotic, we all know that there are a lot of drugs around here. We have not seen them, but we hear people talking about it, and we see people all over the place. So if somebody is in the habit of taking narcotic drugs and come to work, there is punishment there. Say 2 warning letters
Okay.
followed by dismissal.
So if it
So if the
continues,
person continues and can't stop, then obviously he or she has to be dismissed. So we
wow.
don't want to keep bad apples among the good ones.
Okay. So you think that when those people, Mr. Blaban, you've been there so long, we'll come back to you. Have we had cases of such?
Yeah.
I
So,
mean,
but
you two are in the examining committee of the where the grievance processes are being channeled or discussed.
so what I want to say is that the previous questions you posed, in a case I go to court
Sure.
and from somebody, civil servant is going through the grievance procedure, I mean the legal procedure. Actually, we civil service, the standing orders is not uh, in there while you're going through the process. There's no consequence for that in the standing orders. We have experience at the level of the civil service. But what we implement or receive from the court, that is, if you are exonerated or you are quote unquote found guilty, we take decision we pick up from there. The standing orders pick up from there and it's implemented to the letter. On the part of the intoxication or whatever drugs that you take, as a civil service or in the office, it's a public place. You
Sure.
should expect guests and other things. It's offensive if you drink and you go and sit in the office and people come to meeting or come to interact business with you and you are drunk. It's offensive. So the standing order is saying that you should give warning, and if a person cannot desist during working hour time, you should dismiss the person. So that is basically.
And another one is insubordination. Insubordination. And we have there 2 letters of warning followed by transfer or dismissal. Insubordination.
So insubordination, it is one of the things that it is handled with care because it is done particularly the subordinate. The head should not be uh, too harsh in talking to the other person because if you do that, it is kind of it creates that mind because people are exposed these days to express themselves. Okay, whatever way. But again, the public settlement and workplace related is being taken care of in a different way. If you want to give instruction, you give instruction, strict instruction to your subordinate, and your subordinate will be able to implement it. In fact, it is possible that you record and send that instruction to your subordinate. If he or she fails to implement, so that decision, you call the person to talk to the person. And if they insist or put up some attitude, you have the right to punish them.
Mr. Blabman, let me just hold you there. And any of you can, I think, actually, so I can come back. So there are some staff, right? Or we just a subordinate in the context of a lower staff, right? That you are supervising. Sometimes they feel that because they are connected to your own supervisor, they tend not to respect your orders. So what do you do with that?
So the thing is, there is no bread and butter business about this.
Yeah,
The standing orders is clear.
yeah,
So if an employee supervisor asks him or her to do something, perform a task, and because of connection, so I'm connected with my boss's supervisor,
supervisor.
and he refuses to perform the task. So you don't have to pet such person because it will continue.
Okay.
So they are saying, bring the person to attention.
And again, it makes it becomes fire. They say
Yeah,
transfer.
transfer the person or dismiss them. One of the two. So the
No,
institution that we
the issue about dismissal, yeah, get it straight,
yeah,
right?
so
This person is perform or they are acting in such manner because they think that they have somebody at the echelon, right?
yes.
So you, this their supervisor, could you say? I mean, I will transfer. I
You-
mean, send the person.
You can recommend a transfer.
Okay.
So if there is investigation and the institution realizes that there is no way that
No
you
remedy.
can coexist, there can be a transfer.
Okay.
But the remedy is people should be able to respect their superior officers, even their co-workers.
Okay. Neglect of duty. 2 warning letters followed by dismissal. Neglect of duty.
Yeah, so you have, for example, a security officer assigned.
Hello? Hello? Your name and where you
Hello?
calling from?
Hello?
Hello? This is the Civil Service
Yeah.
Hour. Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Dr. Keita. I'm calling you from Congo Town.
That's okay, your concern, sir. Hello?
Yes. Okay. Sorry I joined you in the middle of this discussion.
Sure.
But I overhear you discussing something like granting excuse or leave for someone who has Goa to go for treatment in the bush.
Yeah.
Normally in the health sector for us, we don't have room for that because from experience, we realize that most of them who went into those bushes for
That you coming in broken. You want to change your location, please? That's a very good point you're making. Hello? That you could just change change your location and call, but I think you make your good clarity. Yeah. I think that was saying that they don't give room for that. People, most of the time, people. So, yeah. So,
Yeah, so the
so that you can call back and change your location and call back. No. Go ahead. We're talking about neglect of duty.
yeah,
Yeah.
so if the security officer leaves a sound duty point
Okay.
and something goes wrong,
Hello, your name and where you calling from? Hello? Hello, this is the Civil Service Hour. Okay, you could change your location, but we're running out of time now, so we'll be wrapping up soon. So if you can call now. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, hello, your name and where you calling from?
My name is Emmanuel Kanga and I call from Marshall Road.
Okay,
the one County.
Mr. Kanga, go ahead, please. Your concern.
Yes, I must say thank you for the splendid deliberation, and let me say thank you very much for this program to electing our people about the civil service sector of Liberia. Yeah, I'm kind of concerned with the civil service sector. The civil service sector they are being politicized. There are so many laws. The standing order were amended 2012, and there are so many procedures that it's not there are times after the law, people should not be recall. The honestness of institution will just take somebody working, they just tell them say you recall. And then under the civil service standing order, you don't do that. After the civil service standing order was amended 2012, the staff can be transferred. And when you transfer a staff, it should be on their same level and status without reducing their salary. I also want the civil service to also take control of the civil service sector to ensure that when these things happen, to list with the requisite ministry and agency to ensure that these things don't happen. The civil service is completely civil. The essence of this policy is to guard people. But we found out that the civil service sector have been politicized, and the civil service probably, I'm afraid to say, but they need to beef up the deal, not be strong in again. They are the essence of the civil service is to protect. The act that created the civil service said 1973 to protect people in the civil service their right. Now everybody have money to go to court with issue. In fact, on our law, we saw Article 26 of the Constitution, we saw to have something called the code. There's a code that they supposed to have. They called
so
there's a code that will be established, and that code is not yet established. So we depend on the civil service standing order to help protect civil servants.
Thank you thank you so very much. Your point taken. We're running out of time, so the alternate will just speak a little bit on that, then we can wrap up. But we hope that you can join and call, so we can. If you are called earlier, we'll have delved into it so much. But to say that the civil service agency is politicized, that is wrong, and I think you're not being fair. I mean, obviously, the civil service agency is a branch of government, and so it's obvious because it binds people who work in the public sector. But to say it's politicized, then I think you're not.
Yeah, let me come now.
So we are running out of time. We appreciate your call, and I wish that you could call the next Monday earlier so we can have this thing discussed. But we're running out of time. I mean, we got time here. So thank you for your call, Chief, and we do appreciate your concerns. Yes,
so I also disagree with him.
Yeah, just your parting comment.
The institution has the right to recall its employees.
Yeah.
But then, as you rightly said, the person should be at the same level, and their salary shouldn't be reduced. The person should go with their same salary. So to say that the civil service agency is politicized, no, because there are a lot of cases that we have heard and ruled against ministries and agencies.
Very good.
There are a lot of cases, and right now we have cases that we are going through.
And even civil servants are coming off victorious.
Yes.
So you to say it's
getting retroactive pay.
Very good. So to say that
somebody got over $100,000 from one institution because he was wrongfully dismissed.
So thank you. So we are out of time now. Thank you. This is the civil service hour, and we had Anthony Dennis Jalasua and Mr. James Blackman from the legal division of the civil service agency that was speaking to us from chapter 4 of the standing orders on discipline, and they did so much well. Thank you folks for joining us through listening and contribution, and we want to say thanks and join us in a fresh edition Monday. God bless. I've been your presenter, Joseph Ernest Swin, Director for Communications and Public Relations, Civil Service.